looks familiar, right? At a point of our life, that's probably you and me. In this digital world, social media definitely plays a significant part of our lives. A day can pass without us checking on our feed, enjoying looking at posts, connecting to people. But have you ever caught yourself scrolling through that seemingly infinite feed mindlessly? Often with no purpose and just aimlessly browsing and suddenly realizing hours have already passed. This is mindless scrolling or doom scrolling. It can be addictive, time-consuming, and counterproductive. But who wants to be counterproductive, right? Today, we will be talking about this issue and what we are missing out and how do we reclaim our life out of the screens. In short term, using social media and surfing the web feels good for the user, but in the long term, it has bad consequences. An article in Psychology Today states that, like a loose slot machine, the infinite scroll gives users fast access to variable rewards. Even as mindless scrolling wastes our time, it also increases our dependency on dopamine, the happy hormones, or neurotransmitters released in our brain whenever we feel motivated or satisfied. The dopamine levels spike when we're just about to find reward, and it drops after we receive it. When dopamine levels drop, we naturally crave for it. As mindless scrolling increases dopamine levels, when we stop, we would want more and more the next time. If that desire is not satisfied, it would even affect our mood and decision making. It also leads to memory loss and having a hard time focusing on one thing or doing a specific task. An idle mind is the devil's playground. Mindlessly scrolling leads our mind to be idle and open to whatever content we consume, which are not always positive. There are times that there are even more toxic content than positive content when we spend time on the social media. Studies have found that more time we spend doom scrolling, the more likely we are to experience sleep disturbances, stress-related physical symptoms, and lower self-esteem. Given the potential emotional and psychological effects of doom scrolling, it is important to be aware of how much time we spend doing it so that we can take steps toward reducing its impact on our mental health. As much as technology makes connecting to people easier, it may also cause us to disconnect to people easier. The more time we spend on the screen, the less time that we're actually spending on the people who are with us physically in real life. Have you ever experienced going out with your friends or family, and while waiting for your order in the restaurant of your choice, most are just scrolling on their phones instead of taking time to connect? Maybe this is the time for us to disconnect, to actually connect. Being overly dependent on technology and exposing our lives on social media even gives rise to cybersecurity risks. Mindlessly scrolling may expose us to risks and increase our internet footprint, which may even influence our daily decisions and choices as we consume more and more content. Have you ever experienced when you were just talking to your friend about that newly dropped shoes and then suddenly it appears on your timeline? Now the question is, how does this vicious cycle actually start? It's the main interest of the developers to keep us hooked on their social platforms. These sites monitor how long we spend on each post we view and records everything we like, share, or comment on. After collecting these data, they analyze them to determine your preferences and likes, your favorite categories and genre, and the contents you will most likely notice. Then they will show you more posts and videos that they think you will most likely interact with. So the more time you spend scrolling, the more the algorithm will know you and know what you're thinking. After this, it will be easier for these sites to recommend advertisements to you. If you were caught up in this endless cycle and you feel like you cannot escape from it, do not lose hope. We can still take this chance to be better and to enjoy life to the fullest. Here are some few tips for breaking the cycle of mindless scrolling. Number 1, set a timer for how long you can scroll each day. The best way to fight against mindless scrolling is to be mindful of the time that you are spending on the social media platforms. Second is to unfollow accounts that post negative content. Third is to focus more attention on activities in your daily life. Fourth is to replace doom scrolling with other activities such as reading books, listening to music, spending more time with the people you are with. Slowly but consistently, as we break free from mindless scrolling, we will be able to rediscover the beauty of life beyond the screen. This video is not just about informing people about the effects of mindless scrolling, but this is actually a call for self-reflection. How will our actions now affect our future? This is more than just being secure digitally, but this is about securing our future and the future of our next generation. What does not get settled now gets transferred. This endless cycle of mindless scrolling and being hooked to our gadgets, is this the kind of habit and lifestyle that we want to pass on? In this digital age, when everything seems instant, why don't we pause for a while? Reflect on life, breathe, and enjoy life outside of the four corners of our screen. Why scroll to your doom if you can just let your life bloom?